Welcome back, and let's take a look one more time at just how you can recall your Member of Parliament if you are unhappy, say, with their performance, or if you are displeased with their constant quest for increased perks. Now, we were just telling you about the rules, and one of the first ones that you need to understand is that you can recall your MP 2 years after they've been in office and not later than 1 year before the next general election. So that means you have between August this year and August of 2021 to recall your MP if you are not pleased with their performance. So here's how it all works. Let's start by telling you that this is actually in Article 104, and it is the Constitution that gives you the right to recall your MP. It states the electorate under Articles 97 and 98 have the right to recall the Member of Parliament representing their constituency before the end of the term of the relevant House of Parliament. The term Member of Parliament here, by the way, refers to all members, both of the National Assembly, your women rep and your senator as well. Now, it goes on to say that Parliament shall enact legislation to provide the grounds on which a member may be recalled, and it gives the procedure to be followed. Now, the fifth schedule of the Constitution then required Parliament to enact the legislation within 2 years of the promulgation of the Constitution to enable you exercise this constitutional right. And that is exactly what they did right here with the passing of the Elections Act 2011 and the County Governments Act 2012 to provide for the recall of an MP as well as of an MCA. Now, at this point, it's also important for you to note that some sections of these laws were declared unconstitutional by the High Court in 2017 in a petition that was filed by the Katiba Institute, which said that some of the clauses were meaningless and that they made it harder for you to recall your MP. In its ruling, the same High Court also allowed a person who unsuccessfully contested for the same seat during the election to initiate this petition. So, just how do you go about it? Well, first things first, you will need to go through IEBC for this. You must be a registered voter yourself in the specific constituency of the said MP. Your petition must also be in writing, specifying the grounds for recall. Your petition must be signed by at least 30% of the registered voters in the constituency. So if, for instance, your constituency has 700,000 voters, you'll need the signatures of at least 210,000 registered voters in that constituency. Of these, you will also need to ensure that at least 15% of the voters are in more than half of the wards. And by the way, there is also a fee that must be paid to the IEBC for this. Once you are done, you submit the names of the voters supporting your petition to IEBC within 30 days of filing the petition. Then the IEBC itself has another 30 days to verify the list of names. 15 days after that verification, they will then issue a notice of recall to the Speaker of the relevant House, so to the Senate if it's a senator, and to Parliament, the National Assembly if it's an MP. The electoral body then formulates and publishes the question for the recall. Now, pay attention here, because that recall question must be something like this. Do you wish to recall your MP or your MCA? So it must be a very simple question that requires a simple yes or no answer. They then have 90 days within which to conduct the recall election. And that recall election is decided on by a simple majority of the voters who are voting in that process. If the recall is successful, a by-election is then conducted. And remember what we were telling you earlier, that the MP who has been recalled can still contest in this by-election. Now, the closest we have ever come to this was in 2017. I don't know if you remember this. Residents of Kiambu County began collecting signatures for the recall of their women rep, Gathoni Wamushomba. Remember when she made some remarks that made her constituents unhappy? And it was regarding, you guessed it, pay of MPs. But this could not go on because she had not served the mandatory 2 years. In fact, she had not even been sworn in yet. The High Court, in that ruling we're telling you about, left the grounds open for recall in its judgment. So now it really would be up to you, the petitioner. So what are some of the grounds that you can raise? Absenteeism, misconduct, abandoning voters for those of you who claim and can prove that you've not seen your member of parliament since the election, as well as failure to pursue a promise they firmly gave during the election, such as those that they put in their manifesto. Now remember, this process is yet to be tested, and it would be interesting to see how it would all play out. So now you know. You don't have to wait until 2022. You have options. It's all up to you now.